So 5 o'clock then, okay.
5 o'clock, yeah, we have about 14 minutes.
Okay.
So we have a delegate one, is that for additional? I guess it doesn't matter
Is
then.
that the email that Ryan sent you?
I don't have anything up to date recently. How long ago was that?
Okay, what are you talking about, delegate one? Let me just bring up the,
Just I'm looking at the screen.
okay,
It's got myself on the left, Valentina on the right,
Yep.
Town of LaSalle, and then delegate one.
okay, so that's probably if somebody's gonna be, because we are expecting some other, people to be joining us via Zoom.
Okay,
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm gonna log in too to see what you guys see as well. Okay, so if you guys have any issues, just reach out to me. Do you have my
And,
email? Okay, good, thank you.
Hello,
Valentin, how are you?
good, and you?
Good. Where are you?
I'm in Fort Myers.
Oh, so am I.
Where's your place?
Near the I-75 and Daniels.
Hi, Val and
Oh, yeah.
Vince. Hi, can you guys just pause your personal conversation so we can start the meeting?
If you're ready, we're
Thank
good.
you.
I call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to begin by taking roll call. Please acknowledge your presence. Maria Ferraro,
Present.
Valentina Brunoni,
Present.
and Vince Marcotte.
Present.
Ryan Tufts, planning technician and secretary treasurer of the Committee of Adjustment.
Present.
Alan Burgess, supervisor of planning and development.
Here.
And Christina Bursick, manager of planning and development.
Present.
And I'm your chair, Teresa Nicodemo. I'd like to begin by reading the land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is in the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation of the Three Fires Confederacy and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all original people across Turtle Island. The appeal notice. As a result of provincial changes to the Planning Act, only the applicant and select agencies may appeal a decision of the committee or one or more of the conditions which were imposed. Third-party appeals of consent and/or minor variances, such as neighbors, abutting property owners, are no longer allowed to be accepted by the Ontario Land Tribunal. All applications continue to be subject to a 20-day appeal period and a written request to receive a copy of the decision, and the fee for filing an appeal may be obtained from the Secretary Treasurer. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interests? Seen?
None received.
So noted. Adoption of the minutes from the February 21st, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion? Moved by Maria, seconded by, I can't see that,
I can do it.
by Val Brunoni. And all in favor? That's everyone. Okay, that is carried. Thank you. Mr. Tufts, are there any requests for deferral and/or withdrawal of any applications?
None received.
And so noted. First application for consideration, A-03-2024, file 4178, the owners LaPera Family Holdings Incorporated, Orford Street, a minor variance to allow a reduced rear yard setback and to allow parking in the front yard. Mr. Tufts to make a presentation on the application?
Okay, so we have a minor variance to allow reduced rear yard parking from 7.5 meters to 6 meters and to allow parking in the front yard. The subject land is designated Town Center District in the town's official plan. And it's zoned Town Center Zone 2 in the town's zoning bylaw. The next slide shows a site plan of the proposal, which demonstrates the reduced rear yards. So street-oriented townhomes are a permitted type of structure, and not allowing parking in the front yard was an oversight when the current bylaw was written. That has since been corrected in a housekeeping amendment that was brought to council on March the 12th, and the current bylaw will be brought on March 26th for final adoption. Should this application be approved, we're not recommending any conditions, as this will be going through the subdivision control process.
And Kevin Miller, the agent, you may now speak to the matter. Please introduce yourself and a brief explanation of your application. And please confirm, do you have read and understood the staff report?
Yes, hello. My name is Kevin Miller. I'm representing the owner through Miller Solani Inc. We have read the staff report and agree that the application does meet the 4 tests as required for minor variances. This application has been before council for removal of the holding symbol. The application has been submitted to the County of Essex for draft plan approval. At this point, we're waiting for conditions to be released from the county. And as noted in the staff report, this will be going through a subdivision agreement process. So once we get the conditions from the county, then we can meet with administration for the town and commence the process of executing a subdivision agreement for this development. I'm available if the committee does have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Does anyone online or present that would have any questions for the applicant, for the application? Okay. Does the committee have any questions of the owner? Does the committee have any questions of administration? Vince? Yes, Vince Marcotte?
Yes. Just to clear my mind, so this property on Orford, I haven't been able to get down because of where I am, but the 4 or 3 parcels is going to become a 21 unit subdivision, right?
Correct.
So it's just simply moving all those 4 pieces of property into one and then putting it into a cul-de-sac and putting up 21 proposed units.
Correct.
Thank you.
Valentina has a question? Oh, excuse me, Maria Ferraro.
Hey, thank you. Just had a question concerning the part of the report that says environmentally sensitive species that were found. So this question could be for either the applicant or administration. Can you provide more information about the protected species that were found on the unopened right-of-way?
I can answer that if you'd like, Chairperson. It's Kevin here. Would you like me to respond to that question?
Yeah, yes, go ahead, Kevin.
So when the original report was being completed, the applicant retained a qualified biologist to do a report on the property. What they did find is on the Newman Avenue right-of-way, which is to the east of the property, part of that right-of-way encompasses what has become known as the fairy forest and does have some species on it, together with a corner that was on the applicant's property, which is shown as block 22 on the plan that you have. That property is intended to be dedicated to the town and would be consolidated with the adjoining properties owned by the municipality. On the Hazelwood right-of-way, they also found some species on there, primarily pignut hickory, which were fairly large, mature species. And as a result of that study and in consultation with the town, it was decided to leave the Hazelwood right-of-way in its natural state and not be incorporated as part of the application. And that was one of the reasons for the reduction in the rear yard, is that we couldn't, or the owner could not acquire any of the additional municipally owned right-of-ways to be incorporated in the property due to the species that were found. But there were no additional environmental or environmentally sensitive or SARS species found on the property. Everything that's there now is manicured lawn owned by the property owner. It was just some of the adjacent and periphery lands that had species found on it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Having heard any comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision? And is there a
I would
motion?
so move.
Okay, so moved by Vince and seconded by, uh, by Val, sorry. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Miller.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. I apologize. I'm having trouble seeing the screen. I should have brought my long-distance glasses. I'm sorry. The next application is B-03-2024, file 4177. The owner, Robin Vince Iannucci, 4782 Montgomery Drive, application for consent to sever for a semi-detached dwelling. Mr. Tufts, to make a presentation on this severance application?
So we have an application for consent to sever for a semi-detached dwelling on Montgomery Drive. The subject land is designated residential district in the town's official plan and zoned residential 1. Singles and semis are permitted use in the residential 1 zone. Next slide shows a site plan that was provided by the applicant. The division of this land will facilitate or will create the semi-detached dwelling. And again, it's zoned residential 1, singles and semis are permitted. Both the severed and the retained land meets or exceeds the minimum requirements of the bylaw. Should it be approved, we have the following conditions. They provide a survey, that they pay all of their property taxes, they pay cash in lieu of parkland dedication per lot, they submit updated lot grading sheets, they submit as-built drawings, they provide all easements and dedications to the municipality, and they provide financial security to the satisfaction of the municipality for the works completed, and that they have 2 years from today's date to fulfill.
Is Mr. Iannucci the owner agent? You may now speak on the matter. Please introduce yourself and a brief explanation of your application, and please confirm you have read and understood the staff report. Is he online? No. So there is no one present to represent. Okay. So at this time, I guess the committee can continue to confirm, can either defer the application or confirm it or approve it?
As we have nobody online or in the audience to oppose the application, we'll leave it up to the committee to make their decision if they would like to defer this item to the next agenda or if they would like to vote on it tonight.
Is there, sorry.
Question? Yeah,
Yes, Vince, please go ahead, yes.
yeah. Kevin, can you address the letter that was sent in? I assume he's objecting, but he's not there, I presume?
No, he did not attend the meeting. So he had concerns about existing infrastructure, which our Public Works Department had no concerns with. And he had concern about property values, which again are not a consideration under the Planning Act.
Was there any other? I'm just trying to pull it up, I'm sorry.
Yes, Val?
No, I just, if I could just add to what Ryan was saying. So basically, LaSalle Building Department did issue a building permit for that semi-detached, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so obviously, the use is permitted. The infrastructure was in place. So whether we approve the severance or not, it's not going to make a difference because the semi is permitted and it's being constructed.
Right. So you're allowed in the residential 1 zone, you're permitted to have a semi-detached dwelling, and this proposal meets the minimum lot size requirements and setbacks and frontage requirements as well.
Right. So they're only coming in just to sever that into 2 separate parcels. If let's say it gets deferred or we don't approve it, it does, as far as looking at it, it's not gonna make a difference because a semi is permitted. So it's not gonna have any more effect on the sewer system or anything like that because it's permitted and the services are in.
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't have an issue with approving it, but, you know, that's just me.
Thank you, Val. Any other questions for administration?
I have no issues with this report.
Then, having heard all comments or concerns made by administration, agencies, and the public, is the committee ready to make a decision for approval, provided the 8 recommendations that Ryan had listed, and that they have to be completed? Is there a motion for approval? Moved by Maria and seconded by Vince Marcotte. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay. The next meeting will be April 17, 2024. Is there a motion for this, for adjournment?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, can I just ask a question?
Yes, Vince.
Yeah, to administration. We have received this letter from the individual. Under the new legislation, does this individual now have, what can he do, if anything?
He would have no appeal rights.
Okay. Settles that. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Maria, seconded by Val, and all in favor? Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.